This is Susan Wilbanks with blendedinsight.com. I am a holistic and integrative healing arts practitioner, an intuitive, and an energy healer. In this podcast, I share tips, tools, and suggestions that have helped me along my path in hopes of inspiring and helping you along yours. Let's get started with today's podcast topic.
Hello, bright soul. Thank you so much for joining me on another podcast. We are in the final countdown of 2024. Can you believe it? It has flown by, so many ups and downs and changes and twists and turns, but we're here and we made it. My daughter and I were able to go to a Zoo Lights event. We don't like the zoo. I don't know how you feel about the zoo, but for me, zoos are depressing. I feel sorry for the animals. There's an energy of captivity. I know that sounds really strange. Well, it may not to you, but my daughter doesn't like zoos either. However, a friend of ours hosts a private event and we go for the lights, not for the animals. And the animals aren't really out anyway because it's at night and it's beautifully decorated. So we went and did that. And I just focused on sending the animals love and focusing on all the people there and the lights and the magic of the season, because this time of year is very magical. I love the heart-centered giving, the beautiful illumination, the ambiance, the turning inward. So that's really what December invites us to do. It invites us to become introspective and still. And I love the stillness of the season. And as much as I don't like snow, and I know a lot of you are in other climates, and believe me, I would really prefer to be in a warm climate because I even find this in warmer climates, especially by the ocean. But when the snow is falling and the world is quiet and the days are shorter, it's this time of soft lighting and candles and warm blankets and more rest. So what I wanted to offer is just some things to consider to help you cultivate this season and renew yourself and replenish yourself so that we can be really prepared for the coming new year. And also because sometimes this time of year can be very busy and stressful. So my intent for this month is to bring you practical things and also help you spiritually to cultivate a time of rest, renewal, and introspection and change, and just a cozy place to just sit for a little while. So one of the things that I've been thinking about, and so I'll share it with you too, is what was the most meaningful connection that I nurtured this year? So think about that for you. What was the most meaningful connection you nurtured this year? For me, I would say definitely with my daughter, but also with myself. I really focused on what is driving me and what is draining me. How can I set boundaries around my time? How can I be the best version of myself so that I can show up and give more of myself? I can't serve from an empty vessel. So that's one of the things. And you can journal or just think about it as we're talking about it. We're going to do a healing to do clearing and energizing and all that here also on this podcast. The other thing you can consider, because we're getting close to the end of the year, is what am I ready to release? What is it that you don't want to take with you in 2025? So that's another thing I've been considering. And one of the things that I'm definitely ready to release that I've been working through this year is inauthentic connections, connections that I feel like I need to maintain, but I'm doing it out of obligation and not because I want to, because there's an energy of obligation behind it. And that isn't really how I want to show up. And I don't want anyone to show up to me like that because it's just not necessary. And I want to pour into people that equally pour into me. Also, I want to pour into people that genuinely appreciate and want the connection. And I know sometimes it's going to be tough. Sometimes in family situations, we feel like we have to, but I've really been in a space of asking myself, do I need to do this? Why am I doing this? And am I ready to release? And so that's one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot. I'm also ready to release any societal expectations that I might have taken on along the way. I'm really good about challenging that. I'm not much of a cooperator for the sense of cooperating. I'm not confrontational, but I tend to challenge and think outside of the box. I'm not just a go along because that's what everyone's doing. I'm very logical. So I think about things and I'm perfectly fine with challenging things if it doesn't make sense to me. But sometimes things we just do it out of habit and we're not really thinking about it anymore. So I've also been challenging those things like, why am I doing this? Does this even make sense anymore? And making those shifts so that I can create more space in my life, more peace, more of a rest, like a restful space in my day to where I'm not doing things that really don't add value to myself or to others. So that's just something to get you thinking as you contemplate these things. So the next thing that I really have been doing, and I know that we've been doing it on here on this channel, I've got something coming up starting on the 20th of December to take you throughout the end of the year. And that is going to be a 12 days of reflection and renewal. So it's similar to 30 days of gratitude, a little bit different, something to get you to come here, get your cords cut, cleanse, have a little cozy space to think about some things and release what you don't want to take into 2025. And also just a little bit of a rest bed. That's my intent here. So I've been thinking about what I'm grateful for, thinking about who I can express gratitude to. This could be through loved ones directly or through text messages or even strangers on the internet, but thinking about how I can express that gratitude. And I'm not talking about fake gratitude. I'm talking about authentic gratitude. You can also just write it down. That's something really, really powerful. It can really shift your energy and strengthen bonds because that's what you're focusing on and energizing, especially when so much of the world is still hung up on things they can't control. I'm telling you, I am so tired of people writing all their political stuff online. I don't care. And the way I don't care, I could never express that enough. Stop it. It's not going to change anything. You're, you're energizing something. The decision's been made. Everyone is moving on. There is nothing that you can do about it. Stop it. It's just like, it's so disempowering. So I don't energize that either. Those are the people I have to unfollow. I'm not necessarily going to unfriend, but unfollow. I don't want to hear it. If you would take that same energy and put it into how you can make today better. How can you uplift someone? Because all of that energy is negative. It is angry. It's upsetting. And there's one thing if you say, hey, this is something that is upsetting to me, if it's upsetting to you too, here's something we can do about it. Here's an actionable plan where we can do something about it. That's different than just spitting bile every day. And that's a lot of what we see. So I'm focusing on energizing more of what I want to see. Compassion, focusing on our commonalities, what brings us together. And you can also do things like donating to a food drive or shoveling a neighbor's snow. I wish someone would shovel mine. I've done that for neighbors, by the way. I absolutely have. But some people have snow blowers that can handle heavy snow, and I see them just clearing their own driveway, and they don't come over and clear my driveway. And I'm over here. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm actually not. Anyway, okay. What would a podcast of mine be like if I didn't throw in some humor mixed with truth? So, in any case, you could do something kind for a neighbor. You could also just focus on doing meditation on twin hearts. That helps a lot. That is a healing that we do in pranic healing. It was a meditation, but it's also, it pulls down divine energy and it sends out the planet to help that planet heal. So that's something that you can do. And also, you can just incorporate a daily mantra. I find this kind of helps me in the morning is to just say to myself, I radiate kindness and receive abundance in return. I like that one. It feels really nice, feels really soothing, especially this time of year. And also, you can just adopt a winter self-care and renewal practice. Nourishing foods, staying hydrated. A lot of people get dehydrated in the winter because it's cold, so you don't want to drink as much water. And right now, I have a space heater blasting behind me. You all know I do not like to be cold. And by the way, it was so cold at the zoo lights. Oh my gosh. That was pretty funny. My daughter and I, we were freezing, but we're the same person in so many ways. So we laughed about it. Anyway, staying hydrated, sleeping more, creating a sleep routine that aligns with the longer nights. I've been going to bed earlier. Okay, after daylight savings, because I wish we'd stop doing that, but again, I can't control that. So I'm not going to keep talking about it because it's out of my control. So I really do practice this stuff. I'm not perfect at it. It's a practice, but I do practice it. So honestly, I stayed on the same schedule. I'm going to bed an hour earlier and I've kind of given up trying to date right now because I just got so worn out with the small talk, and I really love my sleep and my routine. I love waking up rested and going to the gym and pushing myself and lifting heavy weights and my nourishing breakfast that I've created for myself. And I honestly don't want to go anywhere when it's dark and snowy. I don't. And I would find when I'm being asked out to dinner and I look outside and there's snow on the ground, and I'm thinking to myself, I got to go on this doggone date and have the same conversation. And those of you who have been dating, you know what I mean. The same questions that are so shallow. And I understand the surface level when you're trying to get to know, I get it. But it's difficult when you can see straight through people and you just kind of already know it won't work. And you're trying to be kind. You are being kind and you want to give it a chance, but you just know, I already know this isn't going to work. I'm looking at the spiritual cord and it's just so teeny tiny. And I just, want to go home and I want to go to bed and and I want to create content and I want to create I want to connect with my people. And so I really just allowed myself to say no. I don't want to. I just want to go home and go to bed. So anyway, I have been really giving myself permission to be in a restorative state. And I'm not doing walks outside, but I will go outside and get sunlight. But I'm not doing walks outside because the wind is too cold and it burns my nose. And if there's snow and stuff on the ground, I'm not a snow person. I don't want to. I would like to enjoy it from a postcard or on the inside. So I've been going to sleep earlier and I'm okay with that. I am so productive and I do a lot. I work full time. I create content. I do private sessions. I'm committed to our Hatha yoga. I'm committed to my spiritual practice. And I never really realized how productive and busy I stay until I started working with my coach. And he was pointing out how my movement count and my step count is higher than pretty much all of his clients consistently. And he's got clients of all age ranges. And here I am, 47, and I'm more active than the 19 somethings. And I am constantly doing things. It's just in my nature. So if I just want a calm, relaxing evening, that's okay. There's nothing lazy about me. I'm very productive and very disciplined. So I just wanted to offer that in case you are one of those people that pushes yourself the way I push myself. The other thing is we've got the winter solstice coming up, and that's going to be on December 21st. This is the time to honor the darkness as part of life cycles. So we've got that coming up, and we'll do a podcast when it gets closer to that time. And the other thing is focusing on connecting with people, reaching out to loved ones. These can be friends, doing meaningful gatherings. And I don't even care if it's just creating that space for yourself. A lot of times when we're givers, which I've been pretty much an overgiver my entire life, I used to always put others in front of me and put myself last. And in our culture, it's really this unhealthy thing that we've done where we want to prioritize and praise people who run themselves into the ground for others. And then when they end up with some kind of ailment because their body has had enough, then they don't even get the rest and the support that they deserve because everyone's just used to taking from them. And there is a balance. So it's not being selfish. It's creating a space to where I can take care of myself and then I can take care of you as well. And that is okay. So the other thing you can do is like a cacao ceremony or a tea ceremony or a cozy dinner where everyone can just share like a reflection or a goal or something that they learned from this previous year. I find that really, really helpful. And the last thing is just the pace of December, honor your needs for rest and connection, and also stay open to the light and renewal that this season can bring. The other affirmation that I really have been resonating with is I embrace this season of reflection, warmth, and connection with gratitude and peace. You and I both know things change in a snap. What we have is now in this moment. And I am really excited for next year. I'm excited for what's coming. I feel really proud of how I've taken care of myself and the transformation that I've made in my own life personally over the last several years. And I'm really grateful for you, for this community that we've created. I couldn't do it without you. And I'm so, so grateful for you. And I'm so honored that you've allowed me to be a part of your journey. I hope that you'll join me back here on December 20th. I know I'll talk a little bit more about it as we build up to it, but I'm really hoping that we can just stay together in light and whatever comes our way, be here as support, stay connected to the light, and continue to walk out our journeys together. So that is all I wanted to offer. Let's go into a healing. You can uncross your arms and legs. I will turn the healing on. Okay, and so it is. And friends, I want to thank you so much for being here. As always, you have an open invitation to our High Vibe Lightworker Tribe over on Patreon. The link is in the show notes. If you're not on my mailing list, you can do so over at blendedinsight.com. And as always, I want to wish you a beautiful week. Take care. Bye-bye.